Traditionally in France, we serve red wine with a selection of cheeses. That will be sometime better to serve white wine. We will understand how to choose the wine with cheeses. But if you have to taste this selection of cheeses, you will start with lightest cheeses and finish with the strongest. In this case, we have to start with the Crottin de Chavignol, then the Emmental, followed by the Ourso-Iraty, then the Brillat-Savarin, the classic Camembert, the Saint-Nectaire, the Roblechon, and we will finish with the Roquefort. We have in France more than 360 different cheeses. That's the same for the appellation of wine, and that will be funny to have one day, one cheese, one wine. This is here the Crottin de Chavignol, produced with goat milk, and you can have different categories, very soft, medium dry or very dry. In this case it's a medium dry, and you will have a very flinty flavors in the cheese and a little bit of saltiness and crispiness inside. And to serve with, that will be interesting to serve the wine from the same region. The Sancerre is produced with Sauvignon, that's very fresh, crisp, with a lemony impression and a little bit of flint sensation as well in the mouth and on the nose. And that will be perfect to match with this particular cheese because you have the regional association and the taste is perfect with. This is the classic Emmental, which is very popular because it's very soft, easy to taste, not too strong, and that will be very good to serve with Chardonnay, which is also very soft and round. But in the north part of the Burgundy region, in Chablis area, because you have the freshness and the saltiness in the wine and the minerality, that will push the cheese to have the perfect match. This is the Ourso-Iraty, produced in southwest of France, close to the Spanish border. This is produced with ewe milk, which is very strong, powerful, with a good freshness. That will be very good to serve it with wine with a round impression, very mellow, with a good freshness as well, and that will be perfect with the wine produced in the Bordeaux region, which is a Graf Blanc. This is a Sauvignon that gives the freshness and a little bit of Semillon that gives the roundness and the complexity in the wine. That will be very interesting to have this complexity of the wine and this very complexity and aromatic sensation in the cheese. This is the Brillat-Savarin, which is a particular cheese because it's very soft and creamy, a little bit sweet on the tongue. That will be very good to serve it with this medium sweet wine because you have an hint of bitterness just a little bit covered by the sweetness, and that will be very good to have this impression in the cheese and the softened impression as well, and the bitterness covered by the wine. This is the classic Camembert produced with cow milk in Normandy region, in north part of France. And this is a very creamy and strong cheese that will be very good to serve it with the wine with a softened impression, very aromatic, and that will be perfect with a Chardonnay produced in the south of Burgundy region, particularly in the Puy-Fuissé area, where you have the very sunny impression of the wine, very fruity, and that will be good to cover the taste, not too much, but just to have the good match with the cheese. Another classic cheese of France, this is the Saint-Nectaire, which is produced with cow milk. And this is very particular because it's a little bit bitter on the tongue, very strong, but you have to keep the crust because that gives all the powerful and the strongness of the cheese. And with that, this is one of the only cheese to be served with a red wine. And particularly with a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot, because you have a little bit of bitterness of the Cabernet, and the Merlot will give the mellowness and the round impression, and it will be perfect together. This is the classic Roblechon, which is produced in Alps region with cow milk. This is a strong and rich and powerful cheese, very soft and creamy. That will be very good to serve it with a Pinot Noir, which is a very elegant wine without tannins, but strong enough to balance the cheese. The next cheese, it's a Roquefort. This is a blue cheese produced with ewe milk, and the particularity is to be very strong, rich, with an hint of saltiness. That will be perfect to serve it with Sauterne, produced in the Bordeaux region, which is a late harvest with a sweetness and also a noble rot effect to balance the strength and the saltiness of the cheese. I wish you a great cheese and wine pairing experience.